Hare Krishna. Welcome you all on our 90 episode book reading. So today we will be reading chapter 46 and 47. Chapter 46. Uddhava visits Vrindavan. One day Lord Krishna asked his intimate friend Uddhava to take news of him to Braja and thus relieve his parents and the gopis of their miseries caused by the separation from him. Riding on a chariot, Uddhava reached Braja at sunset. He saw the cows returning home to the cowherd village and the calves jumping here and there as their mothers followed slowly behind, weighed down by their heavy milk bags. The cowherd man and woman were chanting the glories of Krishna and Balrama, and the village was attractively decorated with burning incense and rows of lamps. All this presented a scene of exceptional transcendental beauty. So actually, all the Brajavasis were experiencing or they were suffering misery because of separation from Krishna Balram. They have actually gone to Mathura now, and so Krishna sent Uddhava to pacify them. Nanda Maharaj welcomed Uddhava warmly into his home. The cowherd king then worshipped him as non-different from Lord Vasudeva, fed him nicely, seated him comfortably upon a bed, and then inquired from him about the welfare of Vasudeva and his son, Krishna and Balram. Nanda asked, does Krishna still remember his friends, the village of Gokula and Govardhan Hill? He protected us from a forest fire, wind and rain, and many other disasters. By remembering his pastimes again and again, we are relieved of all karmic entanglement. And when we see the places marked by his lotus feet, our minds become fully absorbed in thoughts of him. Gargamuni told me that Krishna and Balram have both descended directly from the spiritual world. Just see how they have so easily dispatched Kamsa, the wrestler, the elephant Kolapid, and many other demons. As Nanda remembered Krishna's pastime, his throat choked up with tears and he could speak no further. Meanwhile, as Mother Yashoda heard her husband speak of Krishna, the intense love she felt for her son caused a flood of milk to pour from her breasts and a torrent of tears from her eyes. So one more thing learning here from is that Nanda Maharaj is saying, when we remember Krishna's pastimes, all our karmic entanglement get relieved. So this is the way when we remember Krishna, our material contamination or the entanglement with that goes away. We get relieved from it. All the karmic reaction as well. Seeing the super excellent affection Nanda and Yashoda had for Sri Krishna, Uddhava commented, you two are indeed most glorious. One who has attained pure love for supreme absolute truth in his human-like form has nothing further to accomplish. Krishna and Balram are present in the hearts of all living beings, just as fire does dormant within the wood. These two lords see all equally, having no particular friends or enemies, free from egoism and possessiveness. They have no father, mother, wife, or children, are never subject to birth, and have no material body. Only to enjoy spiritual happiness and deliver their silent devotee do they appear by their own sweet will among various species of life, both high and low. So great description here that everyone who is actually playing with Krishna, they do not have any birth. They all came from spiritual world just to serve Krishna. They do not have any material body. So that's another learning. And one more learning we get from here is anyone who in this human form have got love for Krishna, he is the topmost one. So Lord Krishna is not merely the son of you, O Nanda and Yashoda, but the son of all persons as well as their mother and the father. In fact, he is everyone's dearest relation in as much as nothing that is seen or heard in the past, present or future, among the moving or non-moving is independent of him. So here's saying about Krishna's supremacy. Nanda Maharaj and Uddhava passed the night talking about Krishna in this way. Then the cowherd women performed their morning worship and began churning butter, singing the glories of Sri Krishna as they busily pulled the churning ropes. The sounds of churning and singing reverberated into the sky, cleansing the world of all inauspiciousness. When the sun rose, the gopis saw Uddhava's chariot at the edge of the covered village, and they thought that Akrura might have returned. But just then Uddhava finished his morning duties and presented himself before them. So as of now, no one has seen Uddhava, just Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. Now he is being in front of gopis. So that is how we end chapter 46, and let's see 47. That is the song of the bee. This chapter describes how Uddhava, on the order of Lord Sri Krishna, delivered the Lord's message to the gopis, consoled them, and then returned to Mathura. When the young maids of Braja saw lotus-eyed Uddhava, who wore a yellow garment and attractive earring, they were astonished at how much he resembled Krishna. Thinking, "Who is this?" they approached and encircled him. When they realized that Krishna must have sent him, they brought him to a secluded place where he could speak to them confidentially. So the gopis then began to remember the pastimes they had enjoyed with Sri Krishna, and putting aside all ordinary property and shyness, they loudly wept. One gopi, while deeply meditating on her association with Krishna, noticed a bumblebee before her. Imagining the bee to be a messenger from him, she said, "Just as bees wander among various flowers, Sri Krishna has abandoned the young girls of Braja and developed affection for other women." The gopi continued to speak in this way, contrasting her own supposed ill fortune to her rival lover's good fortune, all the while glorifying the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Lord Krishna. She then declared that although Krishna may have abandoned the gopis, they could not possibly stop remembering him for even a moment. Uddhava tried to console the damsels of Braja, who were so anxious to see Krishna once again. Uddhava explained, while ordinary persons must perform many pious deeds to qualify as servant of Lord Krishna, you simple cowherd girls are so extremely fortunate that Lord has favored you with the very highest degree of pure devotion for him. So another learning here, it's very, very difficult, or it needs so much piety, so much pious activity to actually become a servant of Lord Krishna. Then quoting Lord Krishna, Uddhava said, "I am the supreme soul and supreme shelter of all. By my potencies I create, maintain and destroy the cosmos. I am indeed most dear to you gopis, but to intense your attraction for me and intensify your remembrance of me, I left you. After all, when a woman's beloved is far away, she fixes her mind upon him constantly. By incessantly remembering me, you are sure to regain my association without delay." So this was a message sent by Krishna through Uddhava, that I create, maintain and destroy all this cosmos, and just to intensify your love, I am just getting separated from you now, and I'll come back very soon. The gopis then asked Uddhava, "Is Krishna happy now that Kansa is dead and he can enjoy the company of his family member and the women of Mathura? Does he still remember all the pastimes he enjoyed with us, such as the Rasa dance? Will Sri Krishna once again appear before us and give us custody, just as Lord Indra with his rain gives life back to the forest aggravated by the summer heat? Although we know that the greatest happiness comes from renunciation, we simply cannot stop hoping to attain Krishna. for the marks of his lotus feet are still present throughout the land of Braja, reminding us of his graceful giant, generous smile and gentle talks. By all these our hearts have been stolen away. Again, a very wonderful description about Krishna, and we actually find Krishna's lotus feet still in Braja. Having said this, the gopis loudly chanted Lord Krishna's name, calling out, O Govinda, please come and destroy our suffering. Uddhava then pacified the gopis with the statement that dispelled their pain of separation, and they in turn worshipped him as not different from Sri Krishna. Uddhava stayed in the district of Braja for several months, giving pleasure to the residents by reminding them about Krishna in various ways. Very satisfied at seeing the extent of the gopis' love for the Lord, he declared, these cowherd girls have perfected their lives by coming to the platform of unalloyed love for Krishna. Indeed, even Lord Brahma is inferior to them. The goddess of fortune herself, who always resides on Krishna's chest, could not get the same mercy as what which the gopis obtained during the Rasa dance. When Krishna embraced their necks with his mighty arms, what then to speak of other women? Indeed, I would consider myself most fortunate to take birth as even a bush or creeper that would sometimes be touched by the dust of these gopis' lotus feet. Earlier we have seen that Lord Brahma wished to be a grass in Vrindavan, and now Uddhava is saying the same thing, that I wish to be a bush or creeper, so that they can be touched by the dust of the gopis' feet. Means their gopis are the topmost devotees of Krishna. Right? So finally Uddhava entered Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men, finally Uddhava entreated Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men for permission to go back to Mathura, and Nanda presented him with many gifts and prayed to Uddhava for the ability to always remember Krishna. Returning to Mathura, the Uddhava offered Balram, Krishna and the king Ugrasen the gifts sent by Nanda Maharaj and described to them everything he had experienced in Braja. Actually, the experience what Uddhava had is amazing, because Uddhava was said to be, he was in a Jnani stage, and when he entered to Vrindavan and talked with the gopis, cowherd girls, he experienced a love or highest form of a love with Krishna. So that is how we end chapter 47. Thank you for being with me, and I will be posting soon the question, that is who are the 6 sons? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya.